Regardless, Revelations of Gold is a really good episode. The Gold Ranger's ship got shot down by some bounty hunters, and he landed on Aquitar, and he needed to be teleported back to Earth, to Zordon, so he can get like help, healing, because he's really injured. The Machine Empire saw this, so they put up a shield over the power chamber, and as soon as Trace teleports into it, he would be destroyed. And I just thought that plan was deliciously evil. Billy luckily was able to redirect the teleportation to like this beach or something, and the Rangers had to teleport down there, and Tommy had to save Trey from drowning to death. And then the Rangers found out that Trey has like 3 bodies that merge into one, and they like he formed his 3 bodies: Trey of Wisdom, Trey of Courage, Trey of Heart, and they found out that he can only use his power, his Gold Ranger powers, if he's merged into one body. And since he's too injured to stay merged, he can't use his powers. And if he doesn't transfer his powers to somebody else soon, he'll lose them forever. King Mondo tries to take the gold powers. He fails. The Rangers try to transfer the powers to Billy, since he's just laying around the power chamber doing nothing. But he can't assume them, because when the command center blew up, you remember when he stupidly jumped on those councils and got all those sparks on him? Well, due to that, he can't assume the powers. So Tommy had to find somebody else, and he found Jason. And that was really a good idea for them to bring like a fan favorite back. I mean, Jason was cool, and it was nice to see him assume the Gold Range powers. So before the Lord of Triforia left, he also gave the Rangers the Super Zeo gems, which apparently are connected to the Zeo crystals. And when Jason uses his golden power style to power them up, they turn into the Super Zeo Megazords. Why Trey waited this long to give them those gems, I don't know, but point is, he did. I wish, again, that they would have explained more the connection between the Super Zeo gems and the Zeo crystals and why he has these powers, but what are you going to do? Okay, in episode 35, Mondo's Last Stand, Mondo decides to challenge the Rangers himself and is promptly defeated by the Super Zeo Megazord. And he has to go away for a while to get repaired or whatever. Lord Zed and Rita are back on the moon, and they're plotting like to take over the Machine Empire, destroy them, you know, and get their empire back and whatever. And they're traveling around on an RV on the moon. Gordon and Rita have gained their memories, and they're back with Lord Zed and Rita. They build this robot called Louis Kaboom with a New Jersey accent, and they quickly lose control over him, and Louis Kaboom takes over the Machine Empire by himself for like a few episodes, until the Machine King's oldest son shows up, Prince Gasket, and his wife Archerina, and they out Louis Kaboom and take over and whatever. And out of all the villains in the Royal House of Gadgetry, Prince Gasket and Archerina are easily like the best. I mean, most fans agree that they're the best because like they were just badass. Their plans were great, and they actually got out there and fought the Rangers on their own. Like, that is just cool. I'm sorry. The most famous episodes of Power Rangers Zeo is the King for a Day 2-parter, and for good reason. In the episode prior to this 2-parter, Gasket kidnapped Tommy, and now he's like trying to brainwash him and also drain some of his power and give it to like some monster of his. And he's also trying to make Tommy, like, he made Tommy lose all his memories, and now he's trying to make Tommy think that he's the king of the Machine Empire and that the Power Rangers are evil and he must destroy them or whatever. Gasket also has this portal set up on the beach, and Jason falls into it, and he ends up at this arena that Gasket has with all these old monsters from the past, and Jason and Tommy have to fight each other in the arena. And that was pretty cool. And Bulk and Skull also get mixed up in that portal, and they end up at the arena too, but they're locked up in a jail cell. And then Bulk and Skull meets this alien named Trider, and Trider explains that Gasket kidnaps the strongest warriors from each planet that he conquers, and then he drains their energies and put it into his machine army, which is very evil and very smart, and it makes Gasket to be quite the badass. But yeah. The Gasket also closes down the portal he has at the beach, so the Rangers can't get to the arena. And it's only through Lord Zed and Rita's help that the Rangers show up at the arena to help Tommy, you know. But the Rangers never realized that Lord Zed and Rita were the ones that teleported them there. And Lord Zed and Rita only helped because if they didn't, then, you know, the Rangers would have lost, and then the world would have belonged to the machines, and they'd have nothing after 3 years of wasting their lives. So all the Rangers are at the arena, but like they're not getting through to Tommy, and then like through Catherine's plan, like everybody demorphs, and Catherine was able to get Tommy to remember who he is, and that was a really sweet scene. Like, Catherine is very brave, man, to demorph, especially like that part where Tommy pulled out his pistol at her, and she just grabbed it like with her hand and said no. remember who you are. And like she hugged him and everything. Like that whole thing was sweet. Like that was sweet. I'll give it to him. Tommy eventually remembered who he is, and then he demorphed. But like Gasket has this force field over the arena that stops the Rangers from teleporting out, and then they can't even morph again. So then Gasket and his army monsters were about to close in on the Rangers, but Bulk and Skull and that alien Trider, they break the machine that's controlling the force field, so everybody teleports out. I love it, man. I love that two-parter. And like there are so many things, like Gasket would have really won this if like it wasn't for luck. Luck is what saved the Rangers. They were lucky that Bulk and Skull got teleported there and were able, you know, to meet Trider and all that stuff. They were lucky that Lord Zed and Rita teleported them to the arena. Man, I love close calls like that because like a lot of battles in real life are won by sheer luck, man. Zeo also had the first Ranger team up, and one of my favorites, man, Rangers of Two Worlds Part 1 and 2. In this episode, Billy is aging really rapidly. He turned into an old man and he's still aging. He's going to keep aging until he dies. So the Rangers have to deal with that. Plus, Lord Zed and Rita decide to make a monster. Then King Mondo is back, fully repaired, and he has his strongest monster ever. And Rangers have to contend with all of that. And they also call the Alien Rangers because they need Sestro's help in the, you know, fixing Billy and crap. Oh, and Billy is aging rapidly because of that machine he used in season 3 that returned him back to his regular age when he was a kid. So yeah, the machine is backfiring now. I don't know, that episode is awesome, man. It was nice to see Lord Zed and Rita get into the action again and challenging the Rangers as well as King Mondo. Like, that was cool. And I wish we had more episodes where Lord Zed and Rita were getting into the mix like that. But yeah, it was nice to see the Rangers of Aquitar and the Rangers of Earth fighting the villains together. That was cool, man. And this is also the last episode that Billy was in, because Billy went back to Aquitar for like experimental treatment to return to his normal age, and they were able to fix him, but then he decided to stay and be in a relationship with this chick that he apparently met like when he went to Aquitar before, previously in the season. So I thought it was a nice ending for him, a little rushed, but it was cool. So, the finale of Zeo. A lot of Ranger fans like try to dog this episode and they say like, oh, I expected more from a finale, and like, you know, it's okay for an average episode, but for finale, man, it's lacking. Like, I mean, I understand where they're coming from, mind you, but I really do like this episode though. Mostly because of Lord Zed and Rita. But yeah. So, Jason was losing control of his Gold Ranger powers in this episode, and the machine and power were hunting him down, and then Lord Zed and Rita showed up with their Tangas, and like the Tangas and the Cause get into this brutal brawl, and they just tear each other apart, and Jason barely escaped out of that. And then like the Rangers found out that Jason just can't handle the Gold Ranger powers. They're too much for a normal human to handle. So they need to transfer those powers back to Trey like immediately. But Trey still hasn't, you know, healed well enough to be able to join into one body. So they have to do some hocus pocus magic power time to heal Trey, and that plan manages to work. And also King Mondo shows up, giant size with giant claws, and instead of calling the Zords, Trey makes all the Rangers grow giant, and I love that, man. That is, like, that rarely happens. Like, so, I mean, I can't even think of the last time the Rangers grew giant size and fall moss. It's like, come on, that rarely happens, and it was cool. Like, that is cool. That is finale worthy, okay? So yeah, the Rangers saved the day, knocked the crown off of King Mondo. It was cool. And at the end of the episode, Lord Zed and Rita, they were like, you know what, King Mondo, you got this. We're going to stay out your way. But before we leave, we're going to give you like a parting gift or whatever. And the parting gift was a bomb. And they blew up the Royal House of Gadgetry, and that was the end of that. And Lord Zed proclaims that we're back. They wasn't back. I wish they were back, but they wasn't back. Overall, Zeo is a very well-written season. Very good. I love it, man. And it also gave, like, the other Rangers, you know, a little bit of time to shine. Not that they shine, like, everywhere, but it gave them, you know, more to work with in Season 3 and the second half of Season 2 gave. Because, you know, Tommy was overshadowing everybody. Not that I really care, because Tommy is awesome. But still, though, the other Rangers, you know, they need some focus. They need a little something, too, you know. And they gave them that, you know. Especially for Rocky. Like, I enjoyed Rocky more in Zeo. Like, he was fun. He made more jokes. Like, he had his little situations with some females in some episodes, you know. Especially the one, like, that blind martial artist girl. Like, that was awesome. In fact, I wish we had, like, a blind Power Ranger. We need that someday, man. The season has its flaws, like all seasons do, but the good far outweighs the bad, and Zeo helped expand the Power Ranger universe, much like Season 3 did. They brought back the Equations, they introduced Traya Triforia, and they brought the Machine Empire, and in the premiere they introduced the notion of this United Alliance of Evil. Now, they didn't go beyond explaining the United Alliance of Evil from the premiere, but most fans tend to think the United Alliance is run by Dark Spectre, the Grand Monarch of Evil, and that in space, like Lord Zed and Rita, Diva Tyson, Machine Empire, you know, Astronomer, all of them, they all make up the United Alliance of Evil. So, yeah. I wish the show would have explained this more, but, you know, it sounds like a broken record at this point. And, yeah, I wish they would have also explained who originally created the Machine Empire, but most people assume it's Dark Spectre anyway, so. So yeah, I've done enough babbling about this season. If you've watched these long videos, let me know what's your favorite episodes of Power Rangers Zeo or anything else you want to tell me about the season or whatever. Jamata, guys.